The Center for Educational Efficacy prevents CEEVillage, a web-based portal that empowers educators to design and refine best educational practices. CEEVillage is based upon the concept of professional learning communities. It allows educators a process in which they can focus on the learning of all students, a way in which a collaborative culture can be implemented at the school site, and a process so that the results of student learning govern the practices within the school. The center has found that two types of implementation curves happen when a school implements new initiatives. Curve 1 shows what occurs when a school focuses on the wrong work. Implementation over time has a minimal effect on student learning. Curve 2 shows what happens when one or only a few leaders engage in the process of implementing the new practice. Over time, there is increased student achievement, but when the single or several leaders transition from the school, student achievement drops significantly. The center has found that actually what occurs is an implementation dip. The new initiative is done well and with good results. Until then, it requires the change of current practices in the school. This requires hard work and commitment, and the center has found that it takes the focus on the right work, the development of the efficacy of those individuals in the school, building their confidence and belief in their ability, and the creation of widely distributed leadership. A framework has been created to implement the organizational and instructional systems required to ensure student success. On the outside is leadership. This leadership must be both through the principal and school leadership team, so that teacher leaders take on a strong leadership role and their capacity is expanded. This leadership allows for the creation of a professional school culture where educators openly engage in processes and practices that focus on student learning. This collaborative culture then allows for the academic program to be aligned with student learning needs. This also allows for the use of evidence-based practices, practices that both use research and require the consistent and continuous use of data to inform effectiveness as compared to student learning results. More specifically, this framework looks at essential practices defined by performance targets that clarify what the best practice needs to look like. The center also provides schools with a diagnostic tool that helps them monitor performance targets and a way to capture their current practices and decide how close they are to implementing the performance targets. The last piece is an implementation plan. This provides precision and also is used as a benchmark against performance targets. This essentially becomes a framework that guides the external support as well as an explicit action plan to get closer to attaining the benchmarks. Tools and strategies are provided to help ensure that schools implement the plan with fidelity. Now to introduce CEEVillage. The web-based portal has a main site that allows both public access and access to the private school site. This is a screenshot of the public version. On the public level, educators can get access to collaborative tools that can be used inside of the school for both collaborative teams and school leaders. There's also a search engine that can be used to find the best practices that schools have uploaded onto the site. Schools can be searched for that are engaging in the CEEVillage process. Now we're going to look at the specific site-level job-embedded professional development process that CEEVillage facilitates. It essentially empowers collaborative teams to engage in continuous improvement of curricular, instructional, and assessment practices. It provides a process for teams of teachers to create, capture, share, and implement best practices. Logging onto the site, in this example, there are 3 levels. Members who engage in the work, mentors who provide support for member schools, and model schools that can be looked at for how best practices are implemented well. In this example, a member school logs onto their own home site. There is a center page that can be changed as far as the description. And on the left-hand side, there is a toolbar that includes a document library, a media library, a wiki, and a forum. Each of these will be described in detail. First, we'll look at the forum. The forum is a threaded discussion that can be used inside of a school on a centralized topic. In this example, the topic is a 9-week assessment that is being created for the school. An initial comment is made regarding the pacing of curriculum, and then a response can be given. And in this example, it clarifies what the focus should be for this assessment. This threaded discussion can be continued by multiple people and will always show who it is that is having the comment. The next piece is the wiki. The wiki is a way in which teachers can collaborate online and can continue to have a dialogue which expands. This is a new wiki page. This wiki page is an assessment practice. In this example, the team is creating an overarching goal for the grading period. The assessment is listed as having standards, objectives, vocabulary, critical skills, and a transfer task. Once it is saved, other people can access this assessment area and they can add to it so that the assessment doesn't have to be created in one time but can be evolved over time. The next place is a document library. This is a web-based portal that allows for teachers to upload documents that might become best practices. In this example, the upload feature is shown. And after the upload, a new document is shown. This is a protocol which will be used to view the assessment and be able to find out the effectiveness it had on student learning. The last component is the media library. This school has uploaded an assessment podcast where teacher leaders have described how they have used the protocol to ensure that students have learned and to refine their assessment practices. CEEVillage enables teacher teams to create, capture, share, and implement best practices. For more information, please contact Jay Westover by email or phone. The Center for Educational Efficacy looks forward to supporting the work of your schools.